When Aziz sees Desire using a fireball to attack, she dodges while looking for a way to approach Desire. As Aziz gets closer, Desire switches to body enhancement magic for close combat with Aziz. Aziz is very surprised because she did not expect Desire to use ordinary weapons to counter her sword attacks. However, the strength of a demon sword master within Aziz pushes Desire back to the wall. Aziz then jumps and launches multiple sword attacks to defeat Desire. Aziz realizes that even though she is stronger than Desire, she cannot land a hit on him. Desire then asks Aziz if she enjoys fighting like this because, according to his memories, Aziz always seems gloomy in the future. If Aziz could fight stronger opponents, she might not feel bored. Aziz admits that she wants to defeat Desire right now, so Desire hopes Aziz will use her full strength. Shortly after, Aziz unleashes a powerful spell called Winter Palace, and the surrounding space instantly freezes. Aziz sits in place and continues to attack Desire with ice magic. Aziz doesn't stop there, she also summons multiple magic circles to attack Desire. Although Desire cannot destroy the palace, he can still avoid the attacks from Aziz's magic circles. Desire acknowledges that for someone Aziz's age to cast such high-level magic is very impressive. However, it is still not enough to trouble Desire, so he quickly destroys all of Aziz's magic circles. Desire says that Aziz's magic cannot touch him and also realizes that fighting like this is not a good way. Therefore, Aziz withdraws her magic to end the Winter Palace and then channels all her magical power into her sword. Meanwhile, Donnet struggles to swing his sword but cannot defeat Pram. He is kicked and thrown against the wall by Pram. Seeing that he cannot fight alone, Donnet finally asks Person for help. Donnet says that he wants to eliminate these commoners as quickly as possible, so Person agrees to help him. Person raises his sword and throws it at Pram, but Pram manages to deflect it. Donnet runs towards Romantica from behind while Person attacks from the front, creating a dangerous situation. In this critical moment, Romantica remembers Desire and tells Pram to duck, then uses two wind attacks simultaneously to repel them. Meanwhile, Aziz transformed her sword into a magic sword. Desire knew this was the ultimate technique of a demon sword expert, a skill that Desire believed would take 5 years to master. However, Aziz had advanced rapidly with a determination to defeat Desire by any means. With the magic sword in her hand, Aziz could deflect Desire's flying stone attacks, and even all of Desire's fire attacks could be easily pushed back. Desire realized he couldn't use his technique anymore, so Aziz attacked with high speed, cutting Desire's dagger in two and placing her sword at Desire's neck. Aziz felt triumphant, thinking she had won, but then realized that Desire had used his technique on the clock tower, severing the tower's magic, thus preventing it from summoning demons. Thus, the official end of the Academy's rank promotion competition was announced, declaring Desire as the winner who completed the competition's task. Professor Bridget was very pleased, while the fat Parkman was furious. He threw his cane to the ground, stating that he did not accept the results. In the subsequent meeting, he accused Professor Bridget of cheating to help Desire win, arguing that no commoner could defeat a demon sword expert and complete the task easily. However, all the Academy's instructors had observed the students' battles through cameras and saw no cheating. They advised Parkman to stop accusing others without evidence in front of the headmaster. After that, the headmaster announced the 9 students who earned single-rank titles, stating that Parkman's accusations were baseless. After the competition, Desire met Aziz to talk. Desire admitted that initially, he wanted to make the Alpha class compete against each other to eliminate many opponents. However, Aziz saw through his plan and it didn't work. So, Desire decided to move on to the next objective, which was completing the Shadow World. Upon reaching the clock tower, Desire tried to analyze its magical structure, but there wasn't enough time. Luckily, thanks to the battle with Aziz, he finally had the chance to analyze the tower. It was acknowledged that he lost to Desire after the second test, but according to Desire, the power difference between me and him wasn't too great. If at that time Aziz's sword was faster than Desire's moves, then I would have logged out before completing the virtual world. At this moment, 2 team members appeared and said that if Desire lost, they would fight in my place. At the same time, they also threatened Aziz because they thought Desire was being bullied by her. Knowing that the two had fought very well, Desire patted their heads in praise, while Aziz had to return to the professor to hear reprimands after losing to Desire. Before leaving, she asked Desire if she could train with his team in the future. Of course, Romantica disagreed, but Desire was very open-minded. He said that Aziz could come to the training grounds every morning and after daily study hours. Upon hearing this, Aziz smiled for the first time, surprising Desire. Now, my team was going to the professor because she was waiting. When they arrived, Romantica asked the professor about the contest results, but before announcing them, she used magic to bring out a very luxurious cake, and Romantica immediately realized it was a cake made by a famous shop in the city. The professor congratulated the 3 students who earned single-rank titles and advanced to the Alpha level. Romantica and Pram were very happy and celebrated their victory together. Even the professor was pleased because she made the old man accept reality with an angry face. Seeing Desire's entire team enjoying their meal, the professor suddenly remembered the past when Desire was a very diligent student whom she trained. She had taught Desire magic with great affection, like a mother to her child, so now, seeing Desire grow up, she felt very happy. But over the weekend, the 3 members of Desire's team went on an outing together. Even though they would start studying at the alpha level the next day, they had no worries. So Desire was happy to give his teammates a chance to have fun today because starting tomorrow, the team would surely be very busy. They went to a clothing store to pick out clothes, and when discussing fashion, Romantica was the most enthusiastic. However, Desire showed no emotion when commenting on Romantica's clothes, which made her very upset. On the other hand, Desire praised Pram for fitting the fashion well, making Romantica feel jealous. Additionally, Pram and Romantica also helped Desire choose a tie. After getting tired of shopping, they went to the mall and suddenly Aziz was also there, making Desire very surprised. He realized that Aziz had changed a lot, no longer as cold as before. So, Desire immediately invited her to join the team for some fun. Aziz also felt it was time to take revenge on Desire in the ranking contest, so she agreed to go along with the team. Meanwhile, Pram and Romantica were playing with dolls at the store, and when they managed to get a big teddy bear, they saw Desire walking with Aziz. Unlike before, this time Aziz showed a very good rapport with Desire's team, which made Pram very happy to invite Aziz to play together with everyone. Seeing this, Desire immediately invited the whole team to play a snowball game. Desire paired with Romantica, while Aziz paired with Pram because their opponents were the top knight pair in the academy. So, Desire leaned close to Romantica, reminding her to be careful of Pram. He also showed a very serious attitude, wanting to defeat Desire and Romantica. The child then made a very clever kick that forced Desire to focus intensely to catch it, while Romantica switched to using magic, making the snowball fly straight to the goal. Desire stopped it, saying that was cheating. However, Aziz was also not hesitant to use magic, so she immediately threw a ball at Desire. When the ball came back, Aziz blocked it with an ice wall, causing the ball to bounce back toward Desire's goal. Watching everyone fight each other fiercely made Desire long for a future where they would fight together as humanity's best warriors. Desire was thinking of praising Romantica but had to remind her to focus, and as Aziz was preparing to score a goal, Desire used a mathematical trick to penetrate her defense and score a counter goal. During this outing, Aziz thanked Desire for making her feel more comfortable, and from now on, they would help each other in studying and training in the Alpha class. The next morning, Romantica and Pram were amazed by the luxurious facilities in the Alpha class, and after various efforts, their hard work paid off. At this point, they had reaped the rewards. However, before starting the lesson, Desire reminded everyone to go through the room for this morning's practice. Aziz had also arrived very early to train with Desire's team. After warming up, Aziz switched to sword training with Pram because Aziz's swordsmanship was extraordinary. So, Desire immediately prepared training to improve the accuracy of his magic as before, where Aziz also had to practice aiming the ball at the target. When he saw Aziz still not doing well in this part, he asked Romantica to give her some pointers. Every challenge given by Desire was successfully overcome by Romantica, making her appear very confident. After the first training session with Desire, Aziz noticed that he was a very observant person because Desire could see everyone's weaknesses to provide the right training. Desire then said goodbye to Aziz and promised to meet her here after study hours. Meanwhile, Romantica collapsed weakly because she had been instructed by Desire since the morning. He wanted the whole team to become stronger as quickly as possible because the battle would soon come. But with Desire's guidance, they all felt confident and ready to face this battle. Desire's first meeting in the Alpha class was about the battle between humans and the Shadow World. According to Professor Bridget, this disaster occurred once every year but was almost always successfully subdued by humans. Every time the Shadow World was subdued, humans would bring home magical gems containing great magical power. They would then apply the gem processing techniques at a place called the Magic Tower, aiming to create modern magical items for human life today. The professor's question was who discovered the technique of using magic stones. When Romantica was asleep, the professor called her to answer the question, and she had to be reminded by Desire to answer that the person was Zod, the owner of the Magic Tower. After the lesson, Desire and his team went to Professor Bridget's place. She realized that her team was in the top single ranks in the recent promotion exams, and today Desire wanted to ask the professor for a very important task. After arriving at the professor's office, he handed a piece of paper to the professor. It was an assignment letter to protect the Magic Tower branch. According to Desire, the Academy had the right to assign tasks to the team, so Desire wanted the professor to assign this task to his team. The professor immediately refused because Desire had nothing to do with this task, but Desire knew that the magic tower was currently guarded by a stone called the Fountain of the Goddess, and he promptly revealed to the professor that in a few hours, thieves would come to steal the stone. The culprits were a dangerous criminal organization called at. The professor did not believe that Desire knew so many important things, and Desire pleaded with the professor to reassign this task to his team because if it was delayed, he feared the stone would be stolen. That night, the owner of the magic tower, Rot, received news that the magic tower was under attack. He was amazed at how Desire could accurately predict this. At that time, Desire disguised himself as an ordinary citizen to confront the thieves. Around the tower, unexpectedly, you encountered the group leader named Kraken, and Desire apologized to Kraken with a very pitiful appearance. Initially, Kraken also accepted Desire's apology and politely helped him stand up, but after learning that Desire was a despicable man and starving, he began mocking him. He even threw Desire's bread to the ground and stepped on it in front of him, while ordering Desire to walk very carefully afterward. Although Kraken's subordinates wanted to eliminate Desire, he ordered them to leave him alone. Now, Kraken and his group headed to the tower to steal the magical stone, unaware that they had fallen into Desire's trap. Before attacking the tower, Kraken had put on a mask and summoned hundreds of people just to steal the treasure guarded by the tower. They used magic to attack the tower en masse, but their magical attacks couldn't penetrate the strong defenses. So, Kraken ordered his subordinates to use physical weapons to cause more damage. He was confident that magic would not be able to protect them, and after several minutes of continuous attacks, the tower's defenses finally crumbled. When the gates opened, Kraken led his men to storm into the tower, but the tower's guards had gathered to confront them. As the UD attacked, both sides switched to using swords and weapons. Although the tower's guards were ordinary troops, they had a way of defending themselves that surprised Kraken. Since time was running out, Kraken and some of his subordinates rushed to the storage room of the magical stone, which was protected by a magic shield. They used magic to weaken this shield, and when his subordinates were too weak, Kraken himself got involved. He broke through the shield and the box containing the magical stone, but at the same time, Pram appeared and ordered them to surrender. After obtaining the stone, Kraken asked Pram why he knew about it, but Pram did not answer and ordered his subordinates to kill him. One of them attacked Pram with fire magic, but Pram managed to dodge. Kraken realized that his subordinates consisted of 2 knights and 4 magicians. Although their rank was equal to Romantica, their magic was low. Pram fought alone against them, but Kraken summoned Quicksand to restrain Pram. Then, he used magic to create a large clump and attack Pram, calling him inexperienced. He even created chains to pull him into the wall he had prepared earlier. Although his subordinates attacked Pram together, Romantica managed to destroy their magic with wind magic and incapacitated several guards who stood in their way. After realizing that his magic power was not enough to penetrate the armor layer, the number of magic circles and output speed was quite impressive, showing that this might be a magic expert. Kraken then ordered his subordinates to focus on protecting him, and by any means, he had to bring the stone out of this place. Seeing Kraken trying to escape, Pram immediately attacked and defeated 2 of his subordinates who were protecting him. Although only one of his subordinates was left, he still used his life to stop Pram. Meanwhile, Kraken continued to use earth magic to try to destroy Pram. Pram was forced to retreat to avoid the attack, and even Kraken sacrificed his last subordinate just to protect himself from Pram's attack. Knowing that Kraken was a major criminal, Pram was determined to stop him to protect the people. However, the earth magic used by Kraken was too disruptive, so Pram could not get close to him again. Kraken was able to use the stone to protect his body, making Pram powerless even though he used super speed to keep charging with attacks. When he saw Romantica attacking, he retaliated precisely to where she was hiding. Kraken asked Pram and Romantica how they knew his plan. If they didn't tell, he would drive them both away. However, Romantica not only refused to talk but also provoked Kraken's anger. This made him furious, and he threw a stone at Romantica, but Pram immediately saved her by releasing a magic attack toward Kraken. Kraken thought he had dodged everything, but suddenly a stone appeared and hit his mask. This time, Kraken was angry and attacked Romantica furiously, creating a lot of dust and giving Pram a chance to get closer. However, Pram's sword was caught by him, and Pram had to struggle to get it back. Seeing Kraken ready to use high-level magic, he created a big explosion that destroyed the room. Fortunately, Pram and Romantica managed to dodge without injury. Both had to admit that Kraken was too strong and this time they were completely defeated. Therefore, Pram decided to ask Desire to train him even more. Meanwhile, Kraken managed to escape to the lower floor of the Devil's Tower, feeling satisfied for having successfully stolen the magic stone. However, Desire appeared at the end of the tunnel, demanding the return of the bread Kraken had stolen earlier. Desire informed Kraken that he had used magic to track him. Hearing this, Kraken recalled how Desire had previously used his position to monitor him, and he couldn't believe that his plan had been figured out by a child like Desire. Enraged, Kraken unleashed high-level magic toward Desire, but all the stones launched at him were shattered instantly by Desire's mathematical resistance. Desire insisted that Kraken return the treasure he had just stolen, but Donut did not respond and continued attacking Desire with magic in an attempt to escape. Desire reiterated that no matter what magic Kraken used, it would be futile. This time, Kraken realized that all his magic had been destroyed by Desire's mathematical resistance, so he became extremely angry and attacked Desire with all his might, but the result was the same as before. Unable to fight Desire any longer, Kraken threatened to destroy the magic stone if Desire approached. However, Desire was undeterred and challenged Kraken to destroy the stone now. After saying this, Desire leapt directly towards Kraken and used magic to control gravity, bringing Kraken down and rendering him immobile. Kraken was shocked that such high-level magic was used by Desire in such a short time. Desire did not respond and pulled the magic stone out of Kraken's body, telling him that it was all over. At that moment, Kraken's mask began to shine and removed Desire's gravity spell, while Kraken transformed his body and donned armor that resembled a ghostly beast with increased speed and strength, making it impossible for Desire to respond in time. Kraken continuously kicked Desire against the wall. Although Desire managed to stab him with a fire arrow in his leg, Kraken quickly recovered and resumed the attack. Desire could only retreat to avoid him. After a while under pressure, Desire realized he would lose if he continued fighting like this, so he suddenly used a Hellfire attack on Kraken, although Kraken immediately struck from behind, sending Desire flying. In this form, Kraken could still use his magic as usual, with incredible speed and strength, leaving Desire no time to use his tricks. The battle completely leaned towards Kraken, with Desire barely able to breathe due to the relentless attacks. Nevertheless, Desire kept trying to dodge the attacks and used his tricks to halt Kraken's assault. When Desire showed his resilience, Kraken decided to use his final attack. He created a sphere to draw all the stones around him. Although Desire tried to use his tricks, they couldn't destroy it. In an instant, Kraken created a giant hammer and threw it at Desire. Desire created several magic shields to withstand the hammer's attack. Thinking that Desire was surely defeated after that attack, Kraken laughed loudly but then realized that the hammer in his hand had turned to stone fragments. It turned out that in a short time, Desire had analyzed the hammer's structure to destroy it. Kraken's armor was also altered by Desire's tricks, causing him great pain. Now, with Kraken's armor disabled, Desire used the magical power of the goddess's tears to create a special fire attack. He used this trick to defeat Kraken, causing Kraken's armor to completely disappear after being defeated by Desire. Kraken wondered who Desire was, as he possessed such great power. However, Desire himself couldn't explain who he was, he only knew that his current mission was to protect his closest friends. The next day, Desire was taken by the professor to meet the owner of the magic tower. When they arrived, the professor warned him to speak respectfully to his master. As Desire saw him, he felt a deep longing, because his master was the strongest human magician and an irreplaceable friend to Desire in the future. After that, the two of them drank tea while talking, and Desire didn't even realize that they were about to play chess. Although there was only a little time before the professor had to attend a meeting, he still agreed to play with Desire. Desire then told him about a good friend who had once taught him to play chess, although Desire felt reluctant. However, they had created beautiful memories together. Hearing this story, the professor was eager to play with Desire to test his abilities. Desire felt very interested, so he challenged the professor to make a bet on the chess game. He said that if he lost, he would do whatever the winner asked. Although the professor doubted that a student like Desire would be able to fulfill his request, Desire thought for a moment, then proposed to borrow an unprocessed magic stone from the professor. He used the power of the stone to create fire, which greatly surprised Professor. Therefore, Professor agreed to play on the condition that if he won, Desire had to reveal his secret. Desire immediately agreed, promising to play his best. That night, Aziz had to attend a party at Parkman Castle because she lost to Desire in the ranking battle. She received a lot of negative rumors about herself from party as she acknowledged her defeat in front of Desire without anything to refute. After hearing this, Parkman appeared very angry and blamed all the faults on Aziz. He intended to expel her from the Blue Moon team. After all that happened, she realized that Desire's team was where she truly belonged, so she had no hesitation in throwing the Blue Moon badge in front of Parkman, shocking him. From that moment on, Aziz would follow her heart's call. After the battle with Alter was over, everything returned to normal for Desire's team. He also congratulated everyone who had fought and successfully defended the Tower of Stone. However, he realized that he and Pram were still too weak to face Kraken, so from now on, both of them had to strive harder to become stronger. Pram wondered why Desire wanted to train them both to become stronger, so Desire revealed that the real movie world would emerge one day, and it would be very different from the simulated movie world created by the Academy. If they fail, Desire's team and humanity will be destroyed. So, no matter what happens, he will not let that dark future happen. Although there is no evidence supporting his claim, Romantica fully believes in his words because he has been right from the start, from the clock tower to the altar attacks. So Romantica wonders who Desire plans to reveal himself as a visitor from the future. But Romantica stops him because her initial promise was that she would reveal all of Desire's secrets. So no matter how many times Desire tries to open up, Romantica refuses to listen. Desire reminds everyone that the next training days will be very difficult, and from that day on, every day Desire trains Romantica. Meanwhile, Pram reunites with his father, so he also trains privately with him. After a few days of intense training, Pram's fighting abilities have significantly improved, and Romantica has also activated new powers with the help of Desire in the meantime. She also managed to convince Aziz to leave the Blue Moon team immediately. The next day, Aziz came to meet Desire personally to talk to him. Just because of a foot fault, Aziz accidentally knocked Desire to the ground, and she hoped that after joining Desire's team, she would get more help from him. As Desire revealed, the movie world has reappeared, so Heaven Academy immediately announced a call for students. This time, Romantica and her team members wore new uniforms. Aziz also joined them. For Desire, this is the moment he resumes his mission back to the past to save his comrades and fight to protect this world.